everybody. Welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, it has been 9 long months since the lockdown began, but there appears to be hope on the horizon to the east, across the pond. And I'll tell you all about it in my could-be-ending someday segment, Catch a Third Wave, Endless Bummer.
Hello, it's me again. It burns, but it's lemony fresh.
Either we let him say his line, or we get him the hell out of here faster. This morning, in a scientific triumph, Britain became the first Western country to inoculate people against the coronavirus. Of course, it being Britain, they give you a shot in the other arm, which they call a lorry, and it's administered with a spoonful of sugar. The British vaccine, or Britscene, as no one is calling it, is being offered on the basis of age groups, starting with the oldest people. Well, of course, Britain's most important citizens are all old. The Queen, Dumbledore, even that one doctor who's been on TV for over 50 years. Who is that? Who? Now, conspiracy... It is lemony. Conspiracy theorists who, might I remind you, are stupid, believe that the vaccine is a cover for a plan to implant trackable microchips and that Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates is behind it. So congratulations to Bill Gates on your new army of elderly Brits. If you suspect your grandma has been chipped by Microsoft, there's one way to know for sure. When she goes to sleep, does this happen? Here's the thing about this stupid conspiracy theory. Why would Bill Gates want to put a tracking chip in me? It's not necessary. I already carry a tracking device everywhere we go. And it's this. Even if they inject a tracking chip in my arm, I'm more likely to chop it off than go anywhere without my phone, especially if it's the bathroom. And it's going to be a longie. The first person, can you say longie on CBS? Yes. The first person to get the vaccine in the UK was 90-year-old Margaret Keenan. Here she is getting the shot. I say, well done. I say. Judging from the light smattering of applause, either that woman just got a life-saving inoculation or hit a pretty good drive at Pebble Beach. The second person to get the vaccine in Britain was a man named, and this is real, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. That can't be a mistake. They had to have done that for PR, because that's the most English name a person could possibly have. Next to Lady Margaret, Cadbury, Egg, Thatcher, Buckingham, Paddingtonshire on Avon. But now that Britain has the vaccine, Americans are asking the American questions like, give it to me. Well, it might be a while before we can get given it, because the new vaccine in the UK is from Pfizer. It's safe and 95% effective. So naturally, earlier this year, the White House passed on the chance to secure more of the Pfizer vaccine. It's leadership like that that will ensure the president will continue to lose the election. Here's what happened. While the vaccine was being developed, the administration made a deal with Pfizer to buy 100 million doses. Then, Pfizer offered the administration the chance to lock in supplies beyond that 100 million, but the administration never made the deal. It's all laid out in the new book, The Art of Why Didn't You Make the Damn Deal? The story is embarrassing for the White House, so today the president scheduled a vaccine summit, but the two leading companies, Moderna and Pfizer, didn't attend. But I'm sure we heard from the My Vaccine guy. At the summit, the president bragged that his warp speed program sped up the vaccine in insane ways.
Before Operation Warp Speed, the typical time frame for development and approval, as you know, could be infinity.
Yes, infinity. Just like your case for election fraud is the square root of a negative number. Imaginary.
Slamonometry.
Then the president moved on to the main purpose of the event, signing an executive order proclaiming that other nations will not get the U.S. supplies of its vaccine until Americans have been inoculated. But the executive order by itself appears to have no real teeth and is signed by a man with no real hair or brain. The president insisted that soon we will see a change in the infection rates.
When America is faced with a challenge, we come through, and we always come through to overcome every hardship and surmount every obstacle. And I think you'll be seeing that over the next few months. The numbers should skyrocket downward.
Ah, yes. That classic symbol of success. A rocket in the sky, plummeting toward the ground. It's like they say, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you will die alone in a frozen metal tube. The president took a few questions, and one reporter wondered why the White House was playing by different rules than the rest of the country.
Officials here in this room have encouraged Americans not to travel this holiday season, not to go to large gatherings. Across the street, you've been holding holiday parties with hundreds of people, many not wearing masks. Why are you modeling a different behavior to the American people than what your scientists tell?
Well, they're Christmas parties.
What kind of parties it is doesn't matter, unless you've put so much rum in your eggnog that it's antiseptic. And forget hospitals and nursing homes. The place that needs the vaccine first is the White House, because yet another member of the president's legal team just tested positive for COVID. Attorney and woman demanding the Chipotle guy to pick the cilantro out of the rice. Jenna Ellis. Now, there's no way to know exactly where Ellis was exposed to a noxious cloud of pathogens, but it was definitely this.
The answer that I gave you is they didn't bother to interview a single witness.
Okay. That's two reasons to wear a mask around Rudy. Of course, it wouldn't be a White House COVID diagnosis if it didn't endanger others, because on Friday, Ellis attended a senior staff Christmas party and was not seen wearing a mask. Well, at least she brought something for the Secret Santa. Although this is the White House, so that's a re-gift. Just because all the lawyers are sick doesn't mean the campaign has stopped losing. I'll tell you the blow-by-blow of how much they blow in tonight's...
Deck the halls with failing lawsuits, fa la 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 la. I won.
The road from the White House.
Despite losing 51 post-election lawsuits, the president was still holding out hope for the Supreme Court. At his vaccine summit today, he said this.
Now let's see whether or not somebody has the courage, whether it's a legislator or legislatures, or whether it's a justice of the Supreme Court or a number of justices of the Supreme Court. Let's see if they have the courage to do what everybody in this country knows is right.
You mean drag you out of the White House by your ankles? Where do we sign up? But just like each of his wives, the president has been repeatedly disappointed. Because just a few hours ago, the Supreme Court rejected a case from Pennsylvania Republicans delivering a near-fatal blow to the GOP's long-shot bid to invalidate President-elect Joe Biden's victory. Wow. Even Trump's hand-picked Supreme Court justices didn't want to hear this nonsense. Brett Kavanaugh, do you have any coping mechanisms that might help the Republicans deal with this near-fatal blow?
I like beer.
Okay, good. It's hard to explain the crazy argument they tried in this case, but here goes. Earlier this year, Pennsylvania's Republican-controlled legislature changed the laws there to allow universal mail-in ballots. But now that they saw that Joe Biden won, Republicans are saying that the Republican legislature never had the power to do that. The solution they were asking for? The court should invalidate all votes cast by mail in the general election, more than 2.5 million in total. So toss out all the votes after you know what the results are. That's like going to Vegas, not betting until you see your cards, then burning down the casino. Now, there wasn't much to the court ruling, just a short statement that read, the application for injunctive relief presented to Justice Alito and by him referred to the court is denied. Whoa. Justice Samuel Alito, Mr. Citizens United himself, rejected the case? I guess it makes sense. If you start taking constitutional rights away from citizens, what's next? Taking constitutional rights away from corporations? Giuliani needs that gun license. Another state where the president lost his fight against democracy is Arizona, which certified Joe Biden's victory over a week ago. But last night, the Arizona Republican Party retweeted a pro-Trump account that said, I am willing to give my life for this fight, adding in their retweet, he is, are you? Arizonans, the GOP is asking you to give your life to stop a fraud and a stealing of an election, despite the fact that their own lawyers in Arizona court said, we are not alleging fraud. We are not alleging anyone is stealing the election. So don't do it. There are only two good reasons to die in Arizona: Grand Canyon selfie and choking on a turquoise belt buckle. I don't know how it got in your mouth, but I understand. Elsewhere, desperate attempts to steal the election are happening deep in the heart of Texas, led by Texas Attorney General and Tintin going to divorce court, Ken Paxton. Paxton filed a Supreme Court lawsuit against states Biden won, and his argument is as simple as it is stupid. Texas argued that electors from Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin should not be allowed to cast their votes because they changed their voting procedures during the coronavirus pandemic to allow for increased mail-in ballots. In other words, these states' votes shouldn't count because these states let people vote. Everyone should have to vote the way they do in Texas. If you can stay on the bull for 8 seconds, you get to fire a rifle at a tin can displaying your candidate of choice. Winner gets a Confederate sheet cake. It's a flag. It's a flag. On a more disturbing note, you laugh harder when I up than when I get it right. That does not instill confidence. On a disturbing note, yesterday we learned that the president has called the Speaker of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives twice during the past week and asked for help reversing his loss in the state. Come on, man. At a certain point, you have to understand that it is over. There's a reason you don't see headstones that say, "I'd like a second opinion." It's horrifying, but at this point, no one should be surprised because the call makes Pennsylvania the third state where the president has directly attempted to overturn a result. Say what you will, but at least the president called. It's so much more personal than destroying democracy by text. You up for fascism? We've got a great show for you tonight. My guests are the hosts of the Slate Political Gabfest, John Dickerson, Emily Bazelon, and David Plotz. But when we return, meanwhile, join us, won't you?